Howdy everybody, I'm Gary and this is GLoPersonalFinance, where I talk about getting your finances under control, building wealth, and becoming financially independent. What the heck is Bitcoin? If there is one question that I get the most, this has to be it. First off, I have this disclaimer in all the descriptions of my videos, but this video in particular, I gotta stress, GLoPersonalFinance is not a registered investment, legal, or tax advisor, broker, or dealer. All investment and financial opinions expressed by GLoPersonalFinance are from personal research and are intended as entertainment only. Best efforts are made to ensure that all information is accurate and up to date. Occasionally, unintended errors may occur. And the thing is, I'm just a random guy on YouTube. You should not be taking my advice for face value from any random people on YouTube. With that said, what you hear from random people on YouTube is that it should help you springboard your mind to start researching on this topic. First off, here are the items I'm going to be talking about today in regards to Bitcoin. So sit back, buckle in, and let's go on this wild ride to see what the heck Bitcoin is all about. Look, currency in of itself is such a complicated concept. Seriously, have you really opened your purse or wallet, taken out a $1 bill, and really thought about why we put so much trust in a piece of paper? Don't get me wrong, I'm glad society has put their trust in the US dollar. Heck, 88% of the world's transactions are in US dollar. So the world does seem to trust this piece of paper. I, for one, am glad that they do have this piece of paper. If we didn't have this paper medium to do transactions with, we would have to relegate ourselves to barter with bushels of wheat or corn. Hey, would you take 3 bags of barley for those fava beans? And what happens if that person doesn't want barley? They want corn instead. So you would have to find a person with corn who can take your barley, and in turn they would give you that corn to the bean person. And that bean person finally gives you their fava beans. That trifecta transaction is pure chaos. This is why we have cash, so we can make those transactions with ease without having to find all these bartering partners. Therefore, we assign worth to this piece of paper and trust this paper can exchange it for an equivalent good. So I just spent a lot of time talking about how I give this piece of paper its worth. I trust the US government will keep it stable. And when I'm not exchanging physical paper money, if I were to send money from my bank account to pay my mortgage for the month, the Automated Clearinghouse, or ACH, will guarantee that money will get there. If you didn't know, ACH is slow. It takes like 2 or 3 days for money to travel the whole system. And don't even get me started on wiring money. It takes time, and usually you have to pay a fee to wire this money, and sometimes a fee to receive that money. So to finally start answering my topic question, what makes Bitcoin's worth? And I'm going to try and answer this question with more questions. What makes up the US dollar's worth? What makes up gold's worth? What made the tulip flower worth it? Seriously, look up tulip mania on Google. It's a really fascinating phenomenon that happened to the Dutch. And in plain English, and this is my research of what I found on Bitcoin, it's a decentralized digital currency. So when I pay my cousin Gwen back for those Hamilton tickets, that transaction would happen on Venmo or PayPal, and the bank would be the middle person verifying this transaction. Whereas with Bitcoin, if I were to do this transaction with Bitcoin, all your transactions are validated by many others around you that make up the Bitcoin network. This is called the blockchain. It's proven itself to be an extremely secure way of validating transactions.
But Gary, I don't know how this works. How do you use the blockchain to verify transactions? This seems like hocus pocus to me.
And yeah, that is a valid concern, but I urge you to think about Zelle or PayPal or Venmo and even the ACH. Do you really know how those work also? My guess is no. You just have trust that it works. And from my reading and studying of Bitcoin, I also trust the blockchain can validate my transaction without the need of an intermediate bank. and that has a huge appeal to me. The network as a whole is impossible to control and manipulate. Sure, hack 1 or 2 or 100 blocks in the blockchain, but it's virtually impossible to hack every block on the network. Think of it as a neighborhood watch where you have thousands and thousands of eyes looking and verifying each transaction, making sure things are on the up and up. Hopefully that was a good layman's way of explaining Bitcoin in plain English. So what makes up the price of Bitcoin? It's basically this. I bought this silver coin for $25, and as of shooting this video, the market has dictated the price of silver is now $27.74. So basically, when I bought that coin, I was able to find a seller who would give that coin to me for $25. And if somebody wants that coin right now for $25, they would have to go out into the market and see if anybody would give up their coin for $25. But right now, somebody is not giving up their coin for $25. So the buyer has to keep adjusting the price until they agree upon a set price for this coin. And right now the set price is $27.74. So the reason why the current price is at $27.74 was because that was the last price it was transacted at. So as of shooting this video, the price of Bitcoin is $32,725. This is the price for 1 Bitcoin. And as of shooting this video, that was the last price it was transacted at. The price of Bitcoin is crazy volatile because people are always debating the coin's worth. And with more and more institutions debating its worth, it would make that coin have tons of upward and downward pressures. However, in general, you'll find Bitcoin more widely accepted like PayPal and Cash App, and even Ecuador is making it its legal tender. And then you have Elon Musk making a tweet and then people all of a sudden panic sell, which is a whole other mind-blowing video altogether. Anyways, the point is, it's like Bitcoin seems to be generally more widely adopted since it's getting more and more frictionless to transact and transfer coins. So what makes Bitcoin Bitcoin? Where does it come from? Well, this is where we're going to learn a bit about Bitcoin fundamentals. In order for Bitcoin network to work, you have miners who verify all the transactions on the blockchain. In return for the miners verifying these transactions, they're rewarded with Bitcoins. The mining caps out at 21 million Bitcoins produced. As of now, there are around 18.7 million Bitcoins. There is a good 3.3 million Bitcoins to be mined, and it will eventually be fully mined in year 2140. This is a really interesting prospect that there is a finite supply of Bitcoin, unlike the US dollar where you can just print and print and print till the US heart's content. So having a finite supply makes for very interesting market forces in play, a lot of supply and demand going on. I mean, think about it. Having a finite supply is like having a fixed asset like land. There's only so much land out there, so that land is going to be worth more and more as time goes on and demand for that land increases and decreases. So for me, I'm all in the belief that we all have a shared trust in this paper dollar. And I personally think there's a good amount of people who have a shared belief that Bitcoin has the same extrinsic value. As the trend of people transacting in Bitcoin increases, this shared trust just gets stronger and stronger. I'm fully aware of my own confirmation bias. As I do more research into Bitcoin, I'm aware I've immersed myself into the Bitcoin ecosystem, further confirming my own bias. It's a wicked cycle for sure. So my last question, what am I doing with Bitcoin? Well, after really digging deep into this ecosystem, I've decided I'm comfortable with investing 2% of my net worth. And I really want to reiterate again, this is not investment advice. I'm only telling you what I'm comfortable with. So don't go YOLOing your money into Bitcoin saying, Gary told me to do it. Yes, Bitcoin is risky. And given everything I've said thus far, it's all speculation. I personally am comfortable with holding about 2% of my total portfolio. So I'm dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin till it reaches about 2%. Now keep in mind, I'm only comfortable with putting money into Bitcoin only because I've already maxed out my tax advantage 403Bs and Roth IRAs. I personally would never invest in Bitcoin if I didn't already max out those other tax advantage accounts first. If you have more pressing issues like lots of credit card debt or a car loan, most likely your money would be better spent paying those off first. I do have a bunch of other videos talking about how to conquer bad debt and building a solid financial foundation first. Definitely want to watch those. If you do have a strong financial foundation and want to get started on Bitcoin, I personally use Coinbase. So click on the link below and we'll both get a little perk. I found Coinbase to be the most intuitive user interface. So check out that link below. I hope this video sort of opened your eyes to a little bit of Bitcoin 101. I definitely hope to explore and learn about it more to see what it's all about. I'll be posting updates on my Bitcoin portfolio in videos to come, so definitely subscribe to find out more. I hope you guys learned a little bit about Bitcoin. I really hope this is a springboard for you to research a little bit more about this little ecosystem. Hit that like button if it helped you gain some knowledge and a little bit more info about Bitcoin. Y'all stay safe out there, and I'll see y'all next time.